Hi there, I'm Christine with What's Up Cupcake Whimsical Crafts, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're a regular, welcome back. I'm so happy you're here either way. Today I want to talk through a few things. It's going to be kind of a mishmash of topics this time. I actually have been crocheting quite a bit in preparation for my next market, which is towards the end of August. But that being said, I have like stuff in the works that is going to go together for my next video, so I'm holding back a few things today. But I do have some makes that I've been working on. I have some updates to my craft space, which I've talked about before. I was doing a complete revamp of my craft space. I moved from, excuse me, I moved from my old office, just the room next door, and switched with my husband. He was fine with changing the space. This one has a little bit better lighting and it's a little more open, which is good and bad. I hear more things going on around the house, which can be nice for like being in the know of what's going on with my house and my kids and animals. But on the flip side, it also can be a little loud and chaotic. So I have to find moments like now where I can kind of sneak away and record an update for you all. So that being said, I'm going to give you finally the tour of my new craft space. I have some orders that I sent out this week, so I'll share some of the packing from that, and I'll share some of the makes that I worked on. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, first up, a few of the makes that I worked on this week. Again, there were quite a few things, but you'll have to stay tuned for the next video on kind of the collection that I'm working on. But I also replenished some chickens. I had sold quite a few chickens at my last market, and one that I remembered selling for sure was this dark brown chicken, and then I figured while I'm at it, let's make a black one. Chickens are like my #1 best-selling item at each market. I sell them for $12. I do some weighted pellets within them, and they just sell really well for me. So just wanted to make some more of those to replenish. It's gotten to the point where it's almost a memorized pattern for me. I don't know. I have a hard time memorizing patterns from the perspective of if I'm like working on them nonstop during a day and making several of them, sure. But as soon as I move on to another pattern and do like 5 other things, if I were to go back to the chicken, I wouldn't remember. I mean, I'd have an idea and it would be easy to come together, but I can't like remember the stitches and the counts generally. I don't know. I'm very jealous of those who can. But that's the Oak and Marlow chicken pattern. And I'm trying to work through some of my collection of Bernat blanket because I just don't reach for it as much as I used to. Now that I've been doing this crochet plushie business for like a year, it's full circle now, it's a year, I've just realized Bernat blanket, as much as I enjoy the overall look and oftentimes feel some skeins of Bernat blanket are better than others, it can hurt my wrists a little bit more. It's just not as smooth for me to crochet with. So I just don't reach for it as much as I used to. I still love the variations it comes in and the variety of colors. And, you know, you can get so many kind of specialty variegated yarns or dyes, things like that, which I just can't find with other brands, but I just don't reach for it like I used to. So I have a lot of it and I'm trying to work through that, and I'll show you in my office tour just kind of some of the space that I have allocated to all of that yarn in general. But that being said, I'm working through it, and there are some things that I will probably always do in Bernat. I just probably don't need as much of it as I currently have. So, you know, just trying to whittle that down to make room for the other yarns that I use more often. I also made another little snake. My snakes did really well at my last market, and I'm doing them as part of the little adoption kits now, so I think that also did help. And this actually is a pattern I probably have mostly memorized, so disregard what I said earlier, but it's very few and far between. So I do love this snake pattern. All of the patterns and resources that I reference in this video are linked in the description below. If you go to whatsupcupcakecrafts.com, I have links to my favorite patterns, to my Etsy shop that has some of my plushies. I'm working on putting more plushies on there, but also the safety eyes that I hand paint, amigurumi sticks, and stitch markers that I make. So you can find all that there, as well as links to my favorite patterns, like this little snake. And it comes together really quickly. I like to batch make them, make all the heads, add on the tongues, and then do the bodies, and then assemble it all together. In this case, I just made one. I think I was going somewhere and I just brought some yarn that I knew I wouldn't need much stuffing for, and that's why I made one. And then I also made a couple of my positive potatoes. This is now a free pattern on my Instagram. My Instagram is at whatsupcupcakecrafts. And I am working on my second pattern, which I promise is more complicated than a potato. But in the meantime, I did finally put down the potato pattern, pen to paper or to Canva. And it just had been something I'd never actually documented a pattern before. And, you know, I freehanded the potato when I was doing it. I'd had some people ask for the pattern. It has done really well at my market since I added it with the positive pickle and the fine apple. So I finally went ahead and just put it down and published it. So it is now available on my Instagram account. So if you don't follow me over there, I would love to see you on that little aspect of the internet. And last but not least of the makes that I'm going to share today, I was very excited to be part of a pattern test for Woolly Tunes. If you're not familiar with Woolly Tunes, they do a lot of character pieces, in particular Studio Ghibli, and I think they do a lot of Pokemon too and other anime. But I was selected. This is the second time I think I've done a pattern test for them now, but I was selected for a part of their little like bag charm keychain bundle, and I was part of the Cat Bus and Totoro bundle. So these were very fun to make, super fast makes, very straightforward patterns. I'm super excited for this release on their site. They do both, I think, Etsy and Coffee. So I will put on the screen what the release date is for this pattern bundle. There's actually going to be a whole bunch of patterns as part of this. I was just picked for these two in particular. But having made a like full-size cat bus, it's a lot. So I was very excited to see this come out. And I like the addition of using hand-painted eyes, because then you don't have to worry about dealing with felt cutting and gluing. You do felt for the mouth, though I think you could sew it if you wanted to. The felt for the mouth isn't bad because it isn't like a very strict shape that you do. Totoro had no felt, but again, I did hand-painted eyes, and it actually took me a minute to do this test because I don't have any eyes that are like close to a white back, and I knew that I was going to need a white safety eye in order to do this Totoro, unless I wanted to tackle felt, which I did not. So I was able to hand paint these. I will have these listed in my Etsy shop soon. And they're actually not like just strictly white. They're more iridescent in like the pink and purple and shimmery rainbow kind of color. But for the purpose of this, they worked. And I was very happy with how they turned out. So I will be making so many more of these. I'm going to add bag charm clasps to them as well, because I think that they will be very popular at my markets. At my last market, I did have a setup for Studio Ghibli items, and I think having all of the items kind of together in one space, usually I'll have, you know, a couple items here and there, and people are like, oh, there's a Totoro or there's a Soot Sprite. This time it was like, oh my gosh, it's all Studio Ghibli. So it had quite a crowd for most of my market. So that being said, I think adding in some more bag charms, and she has a lot more designs. There's Gigi, the cat from Kiki's Delivery Service. There's Atori-sama. There's just so many characters. I'm very excited for that pattern to come out, and they're all very quick makes. So check out Woolly Tunes if you do not follow them already. All right, so on top of that, I actually am now ready to work on designing a pattern myself beyond that positive potato, because I got kind of a bee in my bonnet about a theme of plushies that I was going to be working on for my next video. I wanted to get that done before I did anything else, but this week I'm going to be working on that pattern, and it's something that I saw on my trip to Japan and have not seen any patterns really related to it. Maybe one or two, but like different kind of medium of yarn or not the same look and feel. So I'm super excited to work on this. I hope to be sharing more on that shortly. Sorry, my dog came over and she's just, I know, you're just checking in. How you doing? I know you're a pretty girl. She just needed some love. So she's just gonna pant her hot breath on me. So anyways, I'm very excited for this pattern design, and I will share more as soon as I am further along on it, because it is a little bit more, it's a lot more complex than the positive potato. And I have a vision of it in my head, and I really want to get it right. So I'm excited to work on this and a little nervous, because I mean, even writing that positive potato, again, being the first pattern that I've ever actually written down, people who are designing patterns out there and then transcribing it, putting it out to testers, like, oh my goodness, I knew it was a lot of work, but wow, it was a lot of work. Even knowing how simple my potato was, it took a long time for me to just get the formatting right and the layout of what I wanted my pattern to look like and all of that stuff. So I'm very excited for this pattern I'm going to be making. I'm just nervous now about like the time that's going to go into it, but it'll be really cute. In my mind, it's already really cute. So yeah, let's go ahead and look at some of the things that I was working on as it relates to some of the orders that I was packing, and then we'll go into a tour of my new office space.
I'd see it. Like a spirit in your product bag. Suburban summer 17 was a roller coaster ride. A manic pixie dream girl right beside me. And she said she liked me, but I bet it was a right thing running up at the wrong time. And I think maybe if I'd held on tight, she'd still be sitting by my side. I'll never know, I'll never know. I don't like messing with regrets, but I doubt she'll ever leave my head. What could I have done, could I have said? I'll never know, I'll never know. I'll never know, I'll never know. We were nothing alike and I kinda like that. Came from different sides across town tracks. Guess it's true sometimes opposites attract, but it never lasts. So maybe it was just the right thing lining up at the wrong time. And I think maybe if I'd held on tight, she'd still be sitting by my side. I'll never know, I'll never know. I don't like messing with regrets, but I doubt she'll ever leave my head. What could I have done, could I have said? I'll never know, I'll never know. I'll never know, I'll never know. I'll never know, I'll never know. You made a country club pool feel like Malibu Beach. Sure, your parents had money, but you like to drink cheap. Should've known the first moment you're out of my league, but you said you liked me. Oh, I bet it was a right thing running up at the wrong time. And I think maybe if I'd held on tight, she'd still be sitting by my side. I'll never know, I'll never know. I don't like messing with regrets, but I doubt she'll ever leave my head. What could I have done, could I have said? I'll never know, I'll never know. I'll never know, I'll never know. I'll never know, I'll never know. I've got this feeling in my bones. You like to lie in more ways than one. You know this keeps me up at night. So who do you love? Never answer my calls when you're out at night. You call me left when I am right. You think out of mind and it's out of sight. So who do you love? Don't say you love me when you don't.
All right, it's time for an office tour, long awaited, but this is my new space. It's not perfect, but I think it's better than I had before. I have a lot more light. I had to allow for the addition of a few things like the 3D printer. So I have a Bamboo Lab A1 Mini, and I have the AMS system, so it allows for multiple colors to be used when you're printing. From there, I have kind of my little merch section. This is where I have my beads and charms and all of that. That's my amigurumi sticks, my mini amigurumi sticks. I have some stitch markers there, safety eyes to be painted, my little printing shipping area, and then some of the boxes that I just use more frequently. From there, I have just my regular printer, my rolling cart, which tends to get filled with things, I'm not gonna lie. That being said, it does still have stuff from my trip to Japan that I just need to disperse to people. And then shelves with washi tape, pins, shop stuff. This shelf has a lot of my like packing bags. I have more of my tissue paper and stuff like that up there. I have some market stuff, felt. These cabinets are all they're all yarn, so it's not totally beautiful, but it's something. Sorry, working on my camera here. So this is the Premier XL. These are that thinner, I'm gonna say it's like a milk cotton that I get from YWY on Etsy. Those are some extra of the Premier Basics chenille in gray, and then just some more Elise Veludo in one of the like grayish colors. And this is another from YWY on Etsy, as well as some Elise Softy, the small softy. Let's see what it's called. Oh, Softy Plus. So I found they seem to be pretty similar, so I've just mixed them within there. This is the really fine velvet yarn, so I don't actually use this a lot, but I originally thought it was what I would be needing, so it's kind of more of an accent thing now. And then some yarns for both the book sleeves, coffee sleeves, as well as the Feels Like Bliss. So yeah, it's kind of a random assortment of yarns in this cabinet. This one over here is not as exciting. It's mostly like safety eyes and things, so I'm not going to go in there because it's just a little more chaotic and not that thrilling. That's the new Suncatcher stained glass that I got at my last market. This is my little packing area where I do my packing videos, my loungy chair for long crochet sessions where I am not watching YouTube videos. And then this is like the big yarn area. So all up top in the window part is Elise Veludo and Premier Basics, because they kind of just go together really well in terms of size and everything. And then below that is all of my Bernat blanket. I do have in this last cabinet over here, I have some Premier Parfait, but until I get through more of my Bernat, it's just going to be kind of a mix of Bernat and Premier Parfait. So anyways, yeah, there's just more stuff up top. It's mostly overstock of boxes, bags, market things, And then again, I have lots of my collectibles and stuff you've probably seen in recent videos. Lots of pens on display. So yeah, this is my new workspace. This is where I work most of my 9 to 5 as well, so it has to really be like dual functioning for that. So I mean, ideally this desk wouldn't be so crowded, but I have to have 2 monitors. And then I'm working on some projects right now. But yeah, that's my new craft space. So beyond all of this stuff that I have been sharing throughout this video, it just was a really unexpectedly hectic week. So I did not get as much crochet done. I do, again, still have some really fun things in store that I've been working on. But my husband went out of town on a guy's trip. They went whitewater rafting in West Virginia, which is like 5 hours from where we are in North Carolina. And one of the newer national parks is there, New River Gorge. We went there a few years ago when the kids were smaller, and we did like the kid level rafting trip. But he went with some of his friends and they did like the grown up whitewater rafting, and he had a blast. I'm envious. I would love to go whitewater rafting, but our kids are not old enough. Our eldest is. I think you have to be 12, so our eldest is officially old enough. But youngest isn't, so we're not there yet, and we will be at some point, and I'm excited for that trip as a family. But he went and had fun, and that's great. I just came back from Japan, so like I cannot complain. He had the kids for 10 days while I was bopping around Tokyo. That being said, we did not realize, because as much as I love to journal and schedule and calendar and everything, I never actually wrote down when my eldest tennis tournament was, and it was this weekend while he was gone. So what that meant, my eldest plays competitive junior tennis team, and we're fairly new to like this level of competition, and his team back in April qualified for states. Very exciting. We knew states was in July, and our coach texts occasionally like, hey, don't forget, here's the dates, are you all available? Yeah, sure. July, I'm around. Didn't write it down. So when he sent the note saying, hey, like states this weekend, here's the schedule, whatever, it was the moment of, oh, like this is the weekend you're gone. Okay, well, I'll figure it out. It's in Winston-Salem, which is 2 hours away from where I am with traffic, and it starts on a Friday. Oops. So I work. And I just took a bunch of time off. So I ended up working a bit from the tennis court. It's fine. It was a fun trip overall. But again, reading the schedule, I only half paid attention. It was my own fault. But my husband was at the tennis courts one of the nights, like when they were practicing for this tournament. And I guess the other parents were like, oh yeah, are you spending the night? Because we've got a really early morning on Saturday. So he mentioned that to me, like, oh, are you going to be spending the night? And I was like, no, I'll just drive back. They're like, oh, well, supposedly practice is going to be at 6 a.m. on Saturday morning. And I was like, what? So I looked up the schedule, and sure enough, the first match on Saturday, there was going to be 2 matches on Friday and then 3 matches on Saturday. And the first one was at 8 a.m. And in order to get court time at a public court like this, you have to show up early before they kick everyone off of the courts. So it wasn't 6 a.m. start, but it was in the 6 time frame. So being 2 hours away, yeah, I had to frantically book a hotel for one night. So we made it a big like slumber party. The boys were very excited. A bunch of the teammates were also staying the night. So, we went out to dinner one of the nights. It was a lot of fun, but it was just a lot for a weekend that I thought I was going to have hanging out at home, relaxing, crocheting. No, it was running around North Carolina, just driving to Winston-Salem, being courtside all day pretty much on Friday and Saturday. It was hot. It was in the 90s. It's very humid here. I brought all of like the camping supplies to combat this. Like, I had my portable fan, I had a handheld fan, I had like a little hanging fan, and it was just funny. All of the moms at the court, like, we came prepared. We had all of the chairs and the cooling towels, and we basically had like charcuterie boards and deli sandwiches and everything for lunch. And all the dads were like, I brought a chair. So yeah, we all banded together though and kind of like made sure everyone was cool and hydrated and shaded as much as we could throughout the weekend. And that was a lot of fun. And their team did really great. We got 4th in the state, which was super exciting. Again, this was our first time doing this. And the kids all seemed to have a lot of fun. It was really exciting cheering them on. I am not a big sporty person, but I know enough about tennis to be dangerous. So I can like keep score and things like that and know like what moves are allowed and not. So yeah, it was really fun to just see my kid in his element playing really great games of tennis. And yeah, so we had a little weekend away. And actually on the way back, my husband was able to swing by because it was part of the route home from West Virginia. So he surprised my son when he was playing his final match, which they won. And it was like a very exciting moment. It was the final, it was a tiebreaker. Within the tiebreaker for the final point, they just kept flopping back and forth on the point. And my son got like a hit in right at the end. And he was so excited his father was there. And we all got to like watch it and cheer. And yeah, so they did really well. It was very exciting. But I got no crochet done this weekend until we got home Saturday night. And I was pretty exhausted. I went to bed really early. And then had the plans of like doing all sorts of crochet today, Sunday. And I have been, but you know, like I just wanted a low-key weekend to rest. But alas, it's fine. It was a great weekend. It just was a lot more running around than I had planned on this earth.
Good shot.
So yeah, beyond that, just kind of working on tidying up the office still. I got a big order of Elite Veludo yarn because I needed some colors that were running low, as well as colors I needed for this pattern that I'm working on making. So I just went ahead and like placed an order for it. So if I didn't have so many like character things on display, I would definitely have enough space for all of my yarn in my shelves. But I also just like having little Funko Pops and Labubus and things like that that make me happy. So it is what it is. It's the life I chose. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit all over the place, but it was really fun catching up with you all, and I cannot wait to show you the next big video that I'll have that has just, again, kind of a fun theme to it and a lot of new makes that I have not done before, and I'm so excited to share them with you. So if you enjoyed this and you'd like to follow along, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and comment below and tell me what you were working on while you were watching this video. Were you making anything or just hanging out, resting your hands? Because, you know, sometimes we need that break from crocheting too. I know that I definitely can overdo it. So it was probably a good thing that I had that kind of forced couple of days off from crochet. Thanks so much for joining me today and have a great day. See you next time. Bye.